car shopping. You know, that's one of my hobbies. So let's go and check it out together.
Soy el fuego que
Hey guys, welcome back from the beautiful Berlin, Germany.
Yo soy Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria.
soy el fuego que arde tu piel, soy el agua que mata tu sed.
Plata o plomo.
Alright guys, so
your phone.
and this is Panic Mo. You might not know him. You might not know him. Panic Mo always forgets something like his bag or his wallet or his phone somewhere, and then he gets into panic mode. So his new hashtag Panic Mo.
Bro, my bag. You're just vlogging me losing my bag.
That's funny.
My laptop's in there. I told him don't let me forget my stuff, and what does he do?
Sure.
He lets me forget my stuff.
Alright guys, now I came to my friend's place to do some car shopping. You know, that's one of my hobbies. So let's go and check it out together.
Soy el fuego que soy el fuego que
Alright, now that you've seen all the cars or most of the cars, which one do you think is the best? Which one should I go for? So let me know in the comments section. Alright guys, today we're gonna talk about banking, and I would like to help you understand a few areas, especially when it comes to your personal banking experience. And I know that the general public usually doesn't look into the details when it comes to banking, and that's where actually you need to be careful. And there are 4 areas I want to talk to you about. The first one, which is really important, and I see it happening all the time, and it happened to me also, is dealing with credit cards, right? Credit cards is actually a good means of paying and making payments easier than it was before with cash. Obviously there are alternatives now, but when it comes to credit cards, be careful when it comes to cash withdrawals. And that's really important, because some banks, and unfortunately some of them are bad banks or intransparent banks, they will charge you a hefty fee when you withdraw cash with your credit card. And here's an example of, I would say, a bad bank not being very transparent with it. So when you actually withdraw cash from your credit card, let's say $100, the bank will charge you a certain interest rate on that $100 amount. Now, you would think if you would go and pay back the bank these $100 the next day, the interest should stop. Unfortunately, some intransparent banks don't stop the interest rate right there until you pay the total outstanding on your credit card amount, which is basically or usually due only at the end of the period you've chosen, probably at the end of the month. Now that's really bad, because even though you've paid back your debt, the cash debt, they would like you to pay the entire credit card amount, which is not due yet. They would like you to pay that until they stop the interest or the fee they charge you on that single cash withdrawal. So be careful with cash withdrawals with credit cards. The second thing, which is a common misconception, is when you deal with foreign exchange. For example, you are sending money in a currency A, which could be US dollars, and then you want to send money to another country in a different currency, let's say euros. Now, when you go to these exchange houses or banks and you ask them about the fee, they will tell you a fee, which is usually very fair. Like they will tell you something like $10 or $100, depending on the amount. But the actual hefty cost for you is not this transaction fee. It is the exchange rate they are using on you when they transform your US dollars into the currency you want, let's say euros when it arrives. So that is where the intransparency lies with the general public. Make sure that you negotiate the exchange rate, and there are usually sources online where you can check the exchange rate on a daily basis. So make sure you negotiate on the exchange rate, not only on the small fee they usually make very transparent. The actual cost is the exchange rate. The third point, which is really important later probably in your life or once in your life for most of the people, is when you buy a house or an apartment and you need a loan. Now, here's something which is really, I believe, unfair, or more importantly, not transparent enough. Now, when you take a loan, obviously there are different ways of being charged. Some charge you interest rates, some charge you profit rates, some charge you interest rates, but then the effective interest rate is different. I'm not going to go into the details, but make sure that you look at all the fees which are associated with it. And there is something called an admin fee when it comes to your mortgage processes. Now here, the banks usually charge it as a percentage of the amount you're taking from them. Now the administration costs usually should not differ depending on the amount you're taking. So be careful when they say admin fee, they actually refer to an additional commission they take or additional margin they take on your loan. So make sure you mix it with the interest you are actually being charged, and that is your effective cost at the end of the day. Now, why they make it a percentage of the loan and call it an administration fee is a question mark in my head, but make sure you are aware of it. Last but not least, I would like to talk to you about privacy. Now, banks have the duty to actually protect your privacy and anything around your account details. Now, when you go to a teller, you usually ask for a form of ID to verify that you're the authorized person to get that information. When you go to an ATM machine, usually you ask for a PIN, which then verifies your identity. Now, some banks are not really good at protecting your privacy. Let's say you're going with a debit card and you do not have a PIN number of that account and deposit the minimum amount. Now, some banks will actually give you the account balance after you deposit without having asked you for the PIN number. This basically means you could buy anyone's account balance by depositing the minimum amount the ATM machine is asking you. Usually that's around, I don't know, $3 or $5, and it will give you the account balance after you deposit without having asked you for a PIN. Now that does not really protect your privacy. Same thing with banks which are connected with telecommunication companies, where you can enter any phone number and it will give you the outstanding bill amount for that phone number. Now this is something which also needs to be protected. Having said that, some banks could actually verify your identity by sending you an SMS on that mobile number to make sure that you are the person inquiring about the bill. Having said that, make sure you go with the good banks. There are a lot of good banks in this world, and there are some which are not really looking into the details when it comes to privacy, when it comes to transparency, and when it comes to protecting your rights as a consumer. So that's basically my 2 cents to the story of banking, because I have gone through many of these cases where it was very intransparent for me, and I thought you guys should know. So be safe.